In order to start attaching some permissions to these roles that we are creating, we need to first bring them in from the controller. So if we head to our text editor and we go to role controller, in this index method or function, we can just say permissions equals permission all. Okay, and because it's just, we really don't have many, it's okay to use all. It's not going to really do much for performance. But we want to make sure that it is in the, it is being imported up top. So now we can go to role index. And if we go down to the bottom here, we can go ahead and just say permissions. Okay, so let's make sure that this property is coming in. So we'll go back to the text editor. We'll refresh the page. And if we open up inspect, and we open up our DevTools, our Vue DevTools, and we look at our props, we see now that we have the array of all of our permissions. Okay, so create user, and that's where we're not getting it there, but we'll be able to put it in our modal right down in here. So in order to do that, we are going to be pulling in a package called Vue3 MultiSelect, and this is from Suede Labs, and it's been forked from Chantal vue-multiselect. So basically what happened was when Vue 2 switched to Vue 3, some packages that worked with Vue 2 and were already optimized for Vue 2 haven't quite caught up with Vue 3 yet. So this package apparently has, and it's just another user, I guess, just went ahead and forked it and created this version so that we can now use it today. Okay, and let's see. If we go down to our npm install, we can do that. We can install it right into the package, into the project. So come here. Go to git bash, go ahead and install it, and let's take a look at the documentation. So it has different ways of doing it. We need to bring it in properly, which we'll do in a second. But we're basically going to be using, I believe it's the tagging one that we're using. Okay, and then it has a little function down here to make sure all that information's in there. So let's go to our text editor and go ahead and add that to the app.js. So right up here under the modules, I'm going to make another notation. Okay, and I'm just going to say import components ... Okay. How we're going to do this is, if you take a look at the create app, the whole method is just slightly different than what it used to be in Vue 2. And I know for a lot of people it was pretty tricky, but here we can just do it the same way. So import multi-select from at Suede Labs Vue3 multi select. Okay, let's just give this a bit of space here. So in order to globalize a component in Vue 3, if we come down to this create app render, this whole function right here, the easiest way to do this is to just come down here, add component, and we're going to call it multi-select so that in the other pages of our app we'll just refer to it as multi-select. And then just add that component, multi-select. Okay, now this works for essentially any component now. In Vue 3 we used to do, or in Vue 2, sorry, we used to do Vue component, and then I guess you would name it, let's say multi-select, and then it would be, you know, this whole thing, and then default or whatever. You guys remember how it was, because you're probably still using it, some of you. So it's the same thing, except we're just pulling it in with a Vue. This create app is actually calling Vue. See, if you look up here, it's already importing Vue. It's from Vue. So we're just attaching it to the Vue method that's being called here, or the create app that's being called here. Okay, fantastic. So now we'll let that finish compiling, and then we'll head into the roles.index while that's doing that. And then we'll head up to, let's see, where this multi-select is. So now we can go ahead and get rid of this, and we need to open up some arrows here. Okay, and we'll say multi-select, because that's the name of the component that we just made, multi-select. So now we need to open up in this first, in the opening multi-select, we need to open that up and bring that down a bit. Okay, we need to attach some things to it. So the first thing is we're going to vmodel equals form permissions. The next thing is we need to give it some options. So we're going to end up creating a property for this. So we'll just say for now permission options. Okay. The next one is multiple equals true. And these are just multi-select things. So I'll leave the link in the description so you guys can take a look and see if that's the one you want, or if you want to even use this package at all, but you can take a look and familiarize yourself with it. So we also need to make this taggable equals true, and placeholder equals choose permissions, add some parentheses around that S, and then we're going to label it equals name, and we need to add a track by ID, and this will just identify which permission that we're selecting. Okay, so now we need to come down here. Well, before we do that, let's go back up real quick, and there's one more thing we need to add to this. It's gonna say add permissions equals add permissions, and this is a function we'll need to create in a bit. So we'll come down, and the first thing we need to do is we need to grab this permissions from the props, but we can't use it directly, so we need to change it, and that's where that permission options come in. So or it comes in permission options equals this permissions. Fantastic. Okay, so now we need to come down to our methods, add permissions. So now in here we need to pass through the new permission. Okay, and basically we're just grabbing it from up here. It's being pulled right into the component already, so that's all that we really need to do there. But down here we can pass it in. And so now under here, and again, this is from the documentation, add tag, new tag, const tag. So we're just doing the same thing. Okay, go back to our text editor, continue on. So now we're going to say let permission equal curly brackets name new permission, and that's what we're passing in up here, comma, line down, and say this permission options push permission. Okay, again, this permission, we are now grabbing it from here. So the name of the new permission, the name of the permission that we're creating here is coming from what we're passing in, which is new permission. So this permission options is this right here. This permissions is what we're passing into that component. So we're passing in the permission variable that we're creating here, pushing it into this permission options array, which is coming into our component up here in the permission options. Okay, fantastic. So one more thing we also need to do is add this form permissions push permission. The reason I'm doing this is because we also need to pass now what we're pulling in from the modal into the form when we get ready to send in the permissions with the user. Okay, so let's take a look and see what we have so far. Let's go back and refresh. And if we go ahead now and open up Create, we see we have a box. We're going to style this up in a second, but if you click that space, you see now that we have all of the permissions that we are, see, it's being added. See, we'll just go ahead and clean up the styling on that now. Okay, so let's go back. And then first, let's go up top, and I'm going to just throw a quick style in there, just so that we can line it up correctly. Of course, I need the closing tag. And let's see real quick what that did. Also, let's open up the other terminal in case we get any errors. Go back, refresh. Okay, then we go ahead and click Create again, and it still looks like... Okay, you know what? I think that, if I'm not mistaken, I needed to bring in the CSS for that too, and of course, yes, I did. Let me go ahead and copy this real quick. And how we're going to do that is head over to our Sass files, and we go to app.scss, and then right under Bootstrap, we can just say MultiSelect so that we know what it is. And then we'll say at import, paste that in there. And then we need to add at Suede Labs / and then it'll be Vue3 MultiSelect, this, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Fantastic. Now it's here, and let's make sure it's compiled. Let's go back and refresh and see if that fixed that for us. Okay, so let's try it again, create, and there we go. We have a nice little drop down. Can pick that, can add another one, pick that, and I kind of like the layout. It's not too bad. And if it's already selected, the cool thing is it distinguishes it. So if you hover, it's red, press enter to remove, so you can get rid of it like that, or you can also click the checkbox. Okay, fantastic. So why don't we try to hook this up and create a role? Okay, so let's go back to the text editor. We can now close this, okay, and we are going to need to create a route first. So close that, routes, web.php. So now we can just copy paste this one, change this to post, and this one will be store. And let's go ahead and build that function in our controller. So we'll head down to the store function. Okay, and then we'll say role equals role create. Okay, we're going to give a name, request name. We're also going to have to pass in a guard name, and that's because since we have Inertia hooked up with Jetstream, Jetstream automatically sets us up with Sanctum, and Sanctum is going to give it a different guard name. So we need to specify what the guard name is going to be, and that's going to be web. And then also under here, we're going to say if request has permissions, role give permission to, again, this is coming from the Spatie documentation. So we're going to collect it. We're going to say request permissions. We are going to pluck the ID and then push that to array. Now again, there might be other ways of doing this. This is the way that I'm choosing to do it, and that's what I'm showing. So return back. We're also going to be using Sweet Alert notifications, so we just need to return back. That's fine. So we'll go back and let's see. Okay, we'll scroll down to the modal, and we're going to look for that form. We're going to add the @submit prevent equals create role. Okay, and then we're going to go down to the bottom and now create that method. I'll just put it under here. Say create role. Let me bring this up so we can see it better. So now it'll be this form post, this route, admin roles store. And then I need to check if this is still necessary in Inertia, but I'll put it in for now. So preserve scroll equals true. And I need a comma here. Need on success, because I know they made a lot of changes, but this works. So just go with what you know sometimes. So we can also do this form reset, because what that's going to do is, this is part of Inertia now. So once everything is cleared, once we press submit, then it'll clear the form for us, and that's all this is doing automatically. And then we're also going to use our this close modal so that we can close the modal that we have open after it's been sent. And then we'll just say alert done, because this is where we're going to put the sweet alert. Okay, so let's head back to the browser and test out our brand new function. So we'll go ahead and refresh. We'll go ahead and create, and we'll try new role. And I want this to do the preview. We'll do that after. But we'll say update. We'll just give it some random ones and see if it got it. So text, we need to change that as well. Okay, done. So our alert came up, went that far, and it closed that. And let's go down and refresh and see what happened. See if it's in there and it's just too low, because I didn't do any pagination yet, but it's right there. It's because I put in the alert, that's why. Fantastic. Okay, so let's go ahead and we need to change this form name up here. So go all the way up to our modal, and here's our preview. Here we can just put form name, and we're good to go. Let's give that one more try. And as a matter of fact, I am gonna just remove this alert so that we can see it update immediately. Okay, so we'll go back, refresh, create another new role, give it some permissions. And I need to change this button text too. So we'll just click that for now. Okay, so that should have gone through. New role, and it's still not showing through, but I think that's just because I need to give it something. Fresh, another new role, and that's in there. Okay, fantastic. So let me go ahead and change that button real quick. We'll just say submit, or you know what? Let's say create. And we'll just make a quick check and make sure that that went up. Okay, go back and click create. Create. Now, the last thing I want to work on for today is adding in some validation. So let's get into our controller and do that, because we already have the form errors showing up here. So we'll go to role controller. And right in here, we can just say this validate request, and then we're going to pass in the rules. So name is going to equal, we'll say required. We're going to give it a max of 25. And we're also going to make sure that it's unique to the roles table. Now for permissions, we're just going to say that it's required. Okay, so let's see if those work. So we'll go back, refresh, and if we try to create, and we try to do create without sending anything, we get our validation. Permissions field is required, the name field is required. Fantastic. So I'm going to leave it there for today. In the next episode, we are going to work on the edit and delete functions and then just try to clean up some of what we have going on up a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to make sure to push all this code up to GitHub. I'm also going to leave the link for MultiSelect down in the description. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys next time.